right, so I guess I will get it started. Cool. So I saved my introduction for now. So my name's Jesse. I'm a cybersecurity advisor. I've done many things. One which includes working at UW Medicine as a threat detection and response person, and also in digital forensics and incident response, where I had to create a bunch of labs and test like adversary tactics and then look at them forensically to be like, oh, okay, this is the story. Okay, I should do that. I've also done some pen testing for Ren ISAC and other things. So I'll just keep that at that in brief. Today we're going to talk about, or I'm going to go through Attack Range by Splunk. So here's the GitHub. Let me just go ahead and copy that and put it in our Discord. There we go. So I did mention that others will need an Ubuntu box and like Docker installed on it and like an AWS account. However, after thinking about it, to spin up the range for the first time, I think it takes like 30 minutes. So you'll mostly be watching me do this. I've already actually spun up the range so that I could have it to just show you because again, it's going to take like 30 minutes for this to do its thing. So yeah, so what is this Splunk Attack Range deal? So they talk about build, simulate, and detect. So really the purpose here, and they pretty much say it in here under these 3 bulletin points, but basically it's to, hey, let's just make it easy to quickly build a lab. Okay, cool. Now that we've quickly built a lab fast, let's go ahead and do some kind of attack simulation in there using like Atomic Red Team, Caldera. I believe there's Prelude, Purple Sharp, and some other things. Anyways, yeah, do attack simulation using this infrastructure. And then their third thing they talk about is this automation and detection stuff, which it installs like Splunk, so you can go ahead and detect via their Splunk instance, which is neat. So that's pretty much attack range, kind of the concept behind it. Some of the things that make attack range work is Terraform, which that's a whole subject on its own. That's an infrastructure as code that kind of automates the, hey, let's go ahead and build a Windows 2016 box in AWS or a Kali box in AWS, that kind of thing. And then there's some other things that it also does, but we won't go into too much of that. So I'm just going to jump right into just let's do this. Let's make this thing happen. So with that being said, let's go ahead and pull up. Actually, one before that. So yeah, this is all about automation. I just want to share this Active Directory manual build lab thing. So this is like the old way to do it. This is like go to Microsoft, download the evaluation enterprise deal, go ahead and like, go through this screen, go through, domain controller, set this all up. Like we're going to make a domain controller. Like here, add some users. We're going to add users, but like all through Terraform auto-magically, like specify shares. Like this is all very like click, 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 tough, takes forever. So we're going to like automate that and like make it like super simple with attack range. So this will be great. So what I'll do is I'm going to pull this away and we're going to see my Ubuntu box, cat, etc OS. So I'm using Ubuntu 22.04. Can I make this bigger? Let's make this bigger because I don't know that this is good for everybody.
Yeah, that actually looks pretty good, Jesse.
That does? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Cool.
looks fine to me.
Great. Excellent. Thank you. So, all right, so that's the box I'm on. And so what you'll do first, and I'll go ahead and pull up my documentation, go over here and I'll share, well, actually I don't have this to share, but the first thing that we'll do is, I'll copy this and just kind of put it in Discord real quick. I should figure out a way to like share this better, that's for sure. So the first thing you would do is you would do this sudo docker pull, and you would pull this from Docker Hub is really where you're pulling this from. And this takes a little bit of time to download the whole thing and then used and put it in your system. So this takes a while actually. So you can go ahead and do that. I've already got it on my system, so I won't run this command. This next command makes it so that you actually go into the Docker container. Interactively is what that eyepiece is. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to just copy that. I'm going to bring this down. And, well, actually, just so that we can see what's going on here. ls, okay, so attack range is not here, but that doesn't really matter. So let's clear this. All right, so we're going to run it. Oh, yeah. So give it my super secret password. Okay, cool. We're now in the attack range. Its own environmental variable, it looks like. I'm going to do an ls. And yep, looks like we are definitely in the attack range. So back to this. What we'll do next is we'll configure it. So configure, paste, AWS configure. All right, so I'm going to change this later, but for now, you get to have this. So let's go ahead and pull up. So how you would do that if you have AWS, you go IAM, go to IAM itself. We're going to create a new user to do this stuff. So what we would do is go to users over here on the left, click on that. And as you can see, I have an AWS admin 2 and some other stuff. So we just click over here on the top right, add users, and we'd say attack user, I guess, whatever. And then provide access to the AWS management. No, we don't want that. We'll give it some more permission. So we're just going to do next, and we're going to give it this attach policy directly. And I just want to give it this administrator access. Then I'll go to the bottom right-hand corner, click next. Then I'm going to just validate some things here. I think it's just a next. Yeah. It's basically, we're just going to create the user from here. All right, so we've created the user. So from there, here it is, the attack user. Okay, last active never. Good. We'll click on this. Then we'll go to security credentials. In security credentials, this is where we need to create our access key that we're going to use so that the attack infrastructure can communicate with our AWS. So let's go ahead and we'll click on create keys. We just want the CLI at the top here. That's all we want. We'll go ahead and click I understand the above. Click next. I mean, click that if you think you should, but I should. I will, because we can't go anywhere otherwise. All right, so you can give it a tag if you want. I'm just going to say create access key, and here we are. Here's our access key. So we could take that and put it into, and then here's our secret key, so you can show it. Big long thing. Don't worry, these will all be changed. Anyways, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and I'll copy it and paste it here. And then the secret key, I'll go ahead and copy it and paste it here. Then the default region name. So this is where you want to spin up your AWS whatever. So for me, it's going to be US-West-2. All right. And then default output, I'm just going to press enter. And then, okay, great. So that is that piece. All right, now AWS configure is done. We'll move on to configuring the attack range. This is where we'll actually create what VMs we want created using this command here, Python attack range.py configure. I won't go through this because I already made this range because it takes so long, about an hour. So I will run through a couple things that it prompts you for. So it prompts you for, well, which cloud do you want to go in? AWS. Then it gives you a master password for the attack range for every box that you get into. It just throws it out there. Then it asks if you want to do Packer, which makes this process faster than an hour. At this time is my first time, so I said no. Do I want to create SSH keys? Of course. Then I go down to the region. I pick my region. Then I went ahead and said, yeah, you can reach my attack range from my public IP, but you can't see it. Then I went ahead and gave it a name. Down here, I built a Windows server. I picked 2019. You could do 2016. I made a domain controller. I put red team tools on it. I put bad blood on it. Then I said no to another server, but you could and join it. I said yes to a Linux server, yes to Kali because I want to attack it, and no to SOAR because, well, I don't have SOAR, and no to this web proxy because I'm not sure how to use that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for configuring it. Then you go ahead and you build the attack range with that configuration. So this is the command for that. And we will cut to the next area where we can go ahead and see the finished product because, again, it takes so long. All right, here we go. This is what I have already up and going for a while now, and it tells me what's up and going and tells me how to get there. So for instance, like this guacamole, I would just copy this whole thing and I would put in this password. So let me remove this so that I can see it somewhere else and type it all in. So it's actually this one right here. And then this is what you would see with guacamole. So you would see, oh, I have Kali, I have Linux, I have Splunk, I have Win. What's really cool though is you can click on this, and I've already clicked on it over here, but and then you can see, so this is the Windows desktop, and it's currently using this thing from Sigma called Aurora, which is kind of this EDR agent that a group made. Really cool EDR agent. But for some reason, when you first open it up, it tries to do in Windows Explorer, and it just does not work well. So you have to actually open up Firefox and just paste it into there, and then you'll actually see some stuff going on, which is kind of cool. So cool, that's a way to get to Windows, but I'm going to back out of that. Usually I like right-click, and I open a new tab, kind of like I did over here before. I'm going to get out of that. So like, okay, so I should have reconnected. Anyways. My bad. Reconnect. Okay, yep. There we go. So anyways, you can get to both of the Windows servers this way. For some reason, they just want you to like SSH to the Linux box. They don't want you to go, and same with the Kali. Like, so like, for instance, here, let me pull up. Let's pull up Kali. Here's Kali, but what's cool is like, you just need to grab this. So if I just grab that and press enter, and say, yeah, I'll do the fingerprint deal, whatever, then boom, I'm in Kali. So easy enough. I'll say exit out of that though. Oh, there's that. Now the other thing with this is here's Splunk. So again, you can just copy and paste the stuff that you see from the other screen, put it in here, and you're in Splunk. Let me remove this. Cool. So what's good with this is we need to simulate to look in here, really. So let me go ahead and grab some kind of simulation stuff. So if I scroll down the documentation here, I'll go to this atomic red team simulation. We also have purple sharp stuff too. So what I'll do is I'll grab specifically this command. This command is also found here in these docs. If you go here, they give you like a sample of the commands, but basically you can replace these commands with almost anything I found. So like what I had to do is I had to go over here to Atomic Red Team IO, and I would go, okay, cool, let's go to Atomics. And under all these, I'd be like, well, what do I want to like simulate? And then I could go ahead and collect whatever I wanted to simulate. And then I can take that, this is the same number, but take that number and just substitute it for where we were at on this piece right here. So let me break it down. So basically what this means is it's using the attack range Python script. Simulate is how it knows to do the simulation. Then you have to pick which one you're doing. So we're going to pick art here. Like if you go down here, this means pick purple sharp. So back to art. So then this means the technique that you want to try, and then this is the technique number, and then T is for target, and this is the target like name. So if we go back to this again and you scroll, sorry for all the scrolling, up here, these are the names. And so you'd have to pick these names that you'd want to test against. And this is where you would get this. Otherwise, yeah, you don't get it through any of these other ways to test it. So let's remove that. Let's go ahead and let's just test this one. So I'm gonna grab this, open up Visual Code. Nope, not gonna open up Visual Code. Sorry about that, forgot. That's still building, as you can see. I'll put it down here. So if we go here, let me move this and grab this again because I don't know what happened. Decided to go away. Okay. All right, cool. So press enter. So what's neat about this is using a bit of Ansible. For people that are familiar with Ansible, this will look familiar right here with all these stars and play and task. These are all Ansible plays. So in the background, we're automating things with Ansible, which is pretty neat. And like another topic I'd love to go into later, for sure. So what this is doing here is it's finding where the machine is. So it's going to this machine, the machine we gave it. And then it's going to run in the atomic. Well, I guess it's, you know what? I really don't know what it's doing right here. It looks like it's trying to put crypto here. And then let's see here, check install providers. It's just doing providers, install NuGet. Okay, that's just to make sure Atomic Red Team works. So it's installing, yeah, it's installing Atomic Red Team right here. It just did a bunch of stuff. Okay, so installing Atomic Red Team, then it has tasks. So, or I guess that was a task too. Okay, so it looks like, what did it try to do? I'm not sure exactly. I'm still learning this platform. It looks like it tried to run it, but it skipped it. Maybe it was just making sure that it was actually in there. And then let's see here, run art test Windows YAML. So it looks like that's the way to actually run it. And then maybe it sets it as a fact and like checks to make sure the output's there. And then there's some kind of debug. I guess that's also checked to make sure that that's completed. Again, totally novice to how I'm still digging into the code. And then let's see here. Oh no, it's still run. Okay, this is it actually running. So it just ran a bunch of stuff. Oh, geez. Clean. Oh, and it does a cleanup too after it's done. That's kind of cool. So it's doing a bunch of stuff. Okay, so it looks like it ran Mimikatz. Right. So that's good to know. And this is all the Mimikatz output. All right. So that's typical Mimikatz output. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, because that's done. Great. We simulated the attack. I'm going to move this over. I'm going to look for Splunk. Actually, a little bit better than that. I mean, I don't know if it's better, but what I like to use is this thing called uncoder.io. And I'll look for like, let's say Mimikatz. And hopefully there's some kind of thing with it. I guess there's a bunch. We'll just say this. And I want the Sigma version, please. And so let's see here. Does this do what I want? So it says the T1003. So that's kind of what I want. But does it do? Okay, so it does Mimikatz right there. And it looks for commands doing this stuff. So it should get it. Okay, cool, cool. And then I want to convert it. Yeah.
Hey, just real quick, sorry to interrupt, man.
Yeah,
Could you just go over Mimikatz for maybe some of those who haven't heard of it and like Sigma rules?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Great. Good idea. All right, me cats. Oh gosh, in territory. Oh, it's like parrot sec. So there's a whole bunch of different versions of Mimikatz out there, but basically, what it is it's a tool that leverages some components inside of Windows to pull NTLM hashes like this right here, usernames, and clear text passwords as well. So really, it's just a and it does tickets. It does a whole bunch of stuff with passwords and curb tickets and all sorts of stuff. But basically, the end result is it tries to find passwords and give you passwords once run on Windows machines. Yeah, if you have a better, actually, probably do. Sponger, is there more you could add to that?
Yeah, I mean, no, you pretty much nailed it right on the head. It's used to grab password hashes. It can execute in memory, so it won't be on disk. Like you can have it not execute on disk, so it's harder to essentially evade just like legacy AVs. Because legacy AVs are obviously going to look for hashes, but if you're executing it in memory, then it's a lot harder to detect with basic AVs. So it is a good tool to grab password hashes and things like that.
Well done, well done. Yeah, and what was the other thing? I already forgot what.
No
Was I
worries.
saying?
There's
Yeah,
also
just
different versions too.
yeah, Sigma rules.
Oh, Sigma rolls. Okay, yeah, Sigma. Yeah, I love Sigma rules. So Sigma rules has a GitHub. It's basically this kind of one-stop shop. It's not dependent on like Splunk. It's not dependent on some EDR solution. It's not dependent on. It's supposed to be like the kind of the baseline. Like, hey, you want to find out. Here, I'll go into rules. We'll say we want to go into Windows rules, and we want anything that does like process creation, and then someone's going to make a rule about, hey, anytime Windows 7 zip is used, right? So anytime we see these variations of Windows 7, produce an output kind of a thing. And so you can take this like basic baseline and you can apply it to other sims, basically. So that's kind of what this uncoder is doing. It's taking a Sigma, which is kind of the general detection rule, I guess, on something. Uh, and then it tries to go ahead and puts it into AWS Athena query or an ArcSight query or Elastic Alert or Elastic Query. It's easily converted to all these other sims, really. And the person, or I guess team that created this and continually adds to it is just, in my opinion, amazing. And they keep making it better and better. And they stay on top of what the latest stuff is happening. And if there's a malware or if there's some kind of IOC out there, they're going to have it in this Sigma. And so I would highly recommend people take a peek at this and figure out ways to use these Sigma rules to enhance your detection. So again, you can check out rules. There's all sorts of categories. Windows is a fun one. You go into Sysmon, and then you got all sorts of, hey, anytime a file's blocked, give us detection on that. All sorts of stuff. Anyways.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry to derail it, Jesse, but I know we get some new people here. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a great, yeah, I forget. I kind of gloss over things. So thanks, Sponger. Appreciate that. Yeah, so here it is. Yeah, so Sigma, again, we'll go ahead and convert that to the Splunk. Where is it? Splunk. Not alert. I just want a Splunk query. And then I hit translate, and then it does all this great stuff, right? So it converted the Sigma that like, hey, I want to find all these interesting things, including Mimi cats, and then it converts it to like the way, as you'll see in a moment, Splunk will understand it. So if I paste this into here, and I have to change though this win event piece to be the kind of event that it's looking for, and it's looking for like these things: XML win event application, event log PowerShell operations. For some reason, I don't see Sysmon on here, so maybe let me press enter. Maybe the go ahead. Someone talk. I
You're
think
good.
Sysmon just didn't get installed on this. I feel like Sponge, you were trying to talk.
Oh no, no, yeah, nobody said anything. You're good.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, and let me see if I can. Darn it! Yeah, it's not really. That's too bad. Yeah, something must have went wrong with the install of Sysmon on these boxes. So like when we look at Windows here, something happened to where it's missing it. But let's see, can I find what is this box? Maybe I can find it on here. So I'm just gonna say host. This host is not easy. It's not easy to see. Not easy to see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just run that on both the boxes. So not just the one. So we did it on test 0, and then we'll do it on test 1. So that should get it on both the boxes. So here it goes, running through all those things. While it runs through those stuff, I'm gonna see what the other box looks like as far as these events are concerned. Well, not events, overviewed. Yeah, the overview piece, sorry. Overview. No, status. Okay, status. So I'm looking in this info, this area, log count. So let me go back to here. Test 1. Okay, so this one's got 2. So that was test 1. I don't know if that was test 1. This is test 0. Okay, test 0 is something completely different. So let me click on here. Here's the Aurora. From the dashboard. And then close that. Copy this. Exit out. Open up Firefox. Paste it in here. Then we can see. Okay, 5 alerts. Okay. So this is also, I'm very unfamiliar with Aurora. And so, I don't know if that's how you spell it. No. Cool. So
Were you
the
just
same
looking
people
for
that
the
give you the
query?
Sigma are giving you Aurora.
Were you looking for the query or the alert, Jesse?
No, I just noticed that what I was looking for the query. Yep, the alert right here. But I also was about to talk about Aurora, this actual like thing, and so I was trying to figure out how to explain it. And so I was going to go to the site, which is the same site that the Sigma people are from. They created this, so all this is underlined under Aurora is Sigma rules to detect stuff. So that's what kind of says right here. No private Nextron Sigma rule feed. They have IOC feed rules. So that's the other thing. This is the free version. If you do the paid, you get like more stuff. Some of their, I guess, more secret stuff you get. But yeah, so that's Aurora. Aurora is basically based off of Sigma. Um, so yeah. So I wish you could just click on this area and you could get this instead of you get the log count. So I'm just going to go into events, events by source. Yeah, so something happened. There's no Sysmon logs in here. So the Sysmon, when running Terraform, broke. It's unfortunate. Otherwise, our Splunk search would be working, I think. Oh, what's going on? 6 events. Okay, maybe it just had to take a little bit. Oh no, this is security. This is, I don't know that this is giving me what I want. So anyways, this does make it really simple to spin up Windows, Splunk, and Kali so that you can start testing on your systems really fast and get to use the enterprise version of Splunk to test it out and see what you think of it. This isn't fully functional because I would rather have sysmon logs, and for some reason, sysmon logs are not they're not here. I mean, it looks like it tried to install, but the logs are not there. So something's messed up with something. This worked earlier when I first did it. It's just not working now. So anyways,
Hey,
so overall,
hey Jesse, when you spin this up in AWS, what's the cost like?
yeah, great question. So let's check out where is that AWS stuff. So back to this IAM stuff. Let's go EC2. The quick answer to that is I don't know. I have not got my billing. I've just started messing around with this the last 2 weeks. But what you can see here, though, is I've got 2 versions here. So what's going on here is I've got the null 404 that I did today with y'all. That was spinning up and trying to complete. And let me. Still going. Look at that. Still going, y'all. Still going. So yeah, that's still going. But here's the test I did before the meetup happened so that I can start going through everything with you. So I don't know. These are T3 larges and extra larges. So they're not free. So they're definitely costing some money. I don't know at this time. I'll let you know later. But it's going to be a little skewed because I've been spinning this up and spinning it down a whole bunch of times, like a whole bunch of times.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Jesse, if you need like a $10 donation, let me know on some of your Venmo. Send you $10 for spinning this up for today.
Right? Thanks, man. No, it's cool. This is for a good cause. It's all good. All right. So the last thing I'm going to talk about, though, is the attack range destroy. So you can actually destroy the whole range by just this one command. Basically, this destroy command this is a command for Terraform. And so that'll just bring everything down so you don't have to pay those costs pretty much. So yeah, so that is the talk on the attack range. Is there any questions at this point on this? And here's the
Jesse,
diagram, by the way. Yeah.
Quick question. So as far as use cases go, what's the purpose of spinning up an attack range? I'm new. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've never worked in security. But what's the purpose of an attack range? Like, what is the benefit of this? And what kind of tests can you do outside of, Atomic Red Team and why that's important?
Yeah. So you're saying, why be an attacker? Is that basically it? What do
Yeah,
we get?
like what's the purpose of spinning this up and what do you want to use it for?
Yeah, cool. Glad you asked that. So it could be many things for many people. For me, it's a way to spin up a lab really fast this is a great picture actually. To spin up a lab, and the lab is inside AWS, this box, and create an Active Directory instead of that manual way of doing it. Oh my gosh, that is so tough. It's agonizing. So it's to get away from that on making Active Directory and then joining the Windows Server 2016 and then installing all the different attack tools like Atomic Red Team. I've done in a previous talk a Cloud Formations thing where I install a Windows Server and put Atomic Red Team on it, and then you do the attacks on it like that. But that was very limited. This is in a bigger scale of like, okay, cool. You've got Active Directory on there. Well, I didn't even have Active Directory on there. I had to still put in Bad Blood, like it let us do auto magically, and it promoted it to an AD automatically. And I had to do that manually with my other way of doing it. So it really cuts down a lot of like clicking and time. spent on something that could be like, oh, the cool stuff. So before I go into the cool stuff, more on why it's nice. See, it says it puts Sysmon on here, but it messed up. Anyways, so the other cool thing is, yeah, it puts Sysmon in by default, OS query, purple sharp, and it installs Splunk, which is super is awesome. They put a Splunk forward in and goes and it forwards straight to your Splunk, which is also hard to install, by the way. And same with like putting Splunk forwarders on your stuff. It's also tough. They put on the, they also spin up a Linux system, so you can go ahead and do test things on Linux systems. They put the Linux sysmon on there, and then OS query, and of course they send that off via Splunk to Splunk. So super cool. And then they go ahead and if you don't want to automate things with like say any of these like Purple Sharp or Atomic Red Team, you could use your Kali instance that they let spin up, which again is such a hard thing to like spin up on its own. To have them just auto-magically do it is pretty cool. And then there's some other things that I haven't quite touched on, like Nginx and Zeek. So you can get like NetFlow logs, it looks like. So that kind of like cooler than NetFlow logs, really. Zeek is really cool. And it looks like something with OS Core. I haven't done stuff. So this really like it allows you to spin up a system really fast, and then it allows you to just start doing your detection work, basically testing your like theories of like, hey, if I do this attack on this system, is our Splunk or is our whatever actually detecting this bad thing? Do I understand this attack well enough to inform my defenders or admins of systems or people controlling EDRs to better tune things, right? Ultimately, that's the piece I'm trying to get from it is to help with detection technology and helping defend and protect against bad things, in using this as a simulation place.
Awesome. Yeah, it's an awesome explanation. Thanks, Jesseee.
Cool. Yeah, sure. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, Jesseee, I'm excited about this because of the some of the sad news that came out recently, where my favorite project, Detection Lab, is like no longer supported. So this is like a great replacement for that system, where it's like kind of like a lab in a box, where you can just push a couple buttons and boom, you have yourself a lab for doing red and blue team testing and whatnot. So yeah, very cool. Thanks for doing this talk.
Yeah, for sure. Happy to help out.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
What? Go ahead.
Oh, I said it was sweet, man. I liked it.
Oh. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. I had to say this because I forgot. They also have cool like range features, they call it. So you can actually put CrowdStrike Falcon on the systems, or Carbon Black, or those kinds of features. So that's pretty neat. I really can't wait till I get this Packer thing figured out, because basically that makes that build time, which let me pull it over. It's still building. Sweet. It'll bring it down to 5 minutes. So I'm working with somebody over there that knows somebody about this project, and we're trying to figure out how to get this to work for me. So I'll keep you posted on that, y'all.
Sounds good.
Cool. Any other questions for Jesseee before we wrap things up?
Nope. Thank you, Jesseee.
For sure.
Cool. Thanks again, man. Much appreciated as always.
Right on. See if I can disconnect.
Rockstar.
Here.